Welcome to the world of dark psychology, a world where the human mind is understood and controlled in such a way that the person themselves doesn't even realize they have fallen into a psychological trap. Today on Voice Book Hub, we are talking about Amy Brown's powerful book, Dark Psychology: Secrets and Manipulation. This book exposes the hidden techniques and strategies used by those who know how to play with people's minds. Whether it's a politician, a sales expert, or just a person who manipulates you for their own selfish motives. In this video, we will do a deep analysis of this book. We will decode every strategy and tell you how some people hack your psychology and make you act according to their will. But that's not all. We will also tell you how you can protect yourself from these mental traps. Many people think manipulation only happens in movies. But the truth is, it's everywhere in our daily life. In office politics, in relationships, in social media interactions, and even in family dynamics. The most dangerous thing about dark psychology is that it is invisible. Those who master it can control other people's minds as they wish. Therefore, it is essential that you stay aware. When someone says, "You can't even imagine what's happening to you," understand that you need to be alert. Dark psychology is a silent war where words, emotions, and the human mind become the biggest weapons. So, are you ready to understand this psychological mystery? Do you want to know what the secrets of dark psychology are, and how some people try to control your life without your permission? If yes, then be sure to watch this video till the end, because we will not only tell you what these manipulation tactics are, but also how you can protect yourself from them smartly and effectively. Let's now dive into this fascinating psychology that can control your thoughts, your feelings, and even your actions. Stay tuned with Voice Book Hub, Secrets and Strategies of Dark Psychology. Have you ever seen a person who, without saying anything, establishes control over the entire atmosphere? Have you ever felt that someone influenced you very easily, and you didn't even realize that the decision you made was not your thought, but the result of their mind's trick? If yes, then you have stepped into the world of dark psychology. This is not magic, but deep psychological techniques that some people use masterfully to manipulate others' minds and emotions for their own benefit. Dark psychology is actually a powerful art where someone's thinking, feeling, and decision-making process is subtly changed using scientifically proven psychological tools. People who understand this trigger others' subconscious minds, and the other person doesn't even have a clue. Now, it's important who is using this power: an ethical person who uses it for awareness and protection, or a selfish manipulator who uses it like a dangerous weapon. So, let's get to know the strategies considered most powerful in dark psychology. Emotional mirroring. This is the most subtle but super effective technique. In this, the manipulator starts mirroring your emotions, body language, and way of speaking. As they copy your expressions, tone, and behavior, your subconscious mind starts to see them as like you. This develops psychological trust, and that's where the manipulation begins. Fear-based control. The human mind is naturally influenced by fear, and a player of dark psychology uses this fear as a weapon. They introduce words or ideas that create uncertainty or fear in your mind, like financial loss, social rejection, or emotional pain. They subtly make you feel that if you don't listen to them, something bad might happen. By using this fear correctly, they control the narrative of your mind. Gaslighting. This is a dangerous psychological trick where a person gradually distorts your perception. They repeatedly tell you that you are thinking wrong or your memory is failing, making you doubt your own thoughts. Slowly, you stop trusting yourself and become dependent on that manipulator. Guilt tripping. Here, the game is played with your emotions, especially the emotion of guilt. The manipulator instills such a seed of guilt in you that you are forced to agree with them. For example, if you don't help me, I will be very upset. Or, if you don't listen to me, it means you don't care about me. These statements might sound normal, but they are classic tricks of emotional manipulation. Isolation technique. This is considered the most dangerous strategy. In this, the manipulator slowly distances you from the rest of the world so that you become dependent only on them. They make you feel that the world is not trustworthy, and they are the only person you can rely on. When a person feels alone, they become even more vulnerable. These techniques of dark psychology are not just limited to personal relationships. They are used on a large scale too. In politics, business, marketing, and social media campaigns, people try to influence you by understanding your psychology. Companies create scarcity fear by showing limited time offers, only a few items left, or offer ending soon, so that you make an impulsive decision immediately. Some leaders control people's emotions to direct them, making their strategies successful. Now the question is, can you recognize these strategies? Do you know if someone is using these techniques on you? And most importantly, are you ready to protect yourself from them? Knowing the secrets of dark psychology is not just for controlling others, but for keeping yourself in control. When you start understanding these mind games, no one can easily manipulate you. Now, it's in your hands whether you use this knowledge as a mental shield or as a psychological weapon. Chapter 2. Analyzing Dark Psychology. Have you ever thought, if you had the power to read the depths of someone's mind, how many things could you do in your life in your favor? Imagine, if you understand beforehand that someone is playing a hidden game with you, can't you save yourself from falling into that trap? This is dark psychology. This is not normal psychology. This is an attempt to dive into those depths of the human mind where ordinary people never go. Dark psychology, meaning the psychology that revolves around power, control, and influence. It tries to understand the subtle art where a person is controlled by manipulating their weaknesses, desires, fears, and insecurities. So subtly that the other person doesn't even realize it. It is the study of those tactics used by narcissists, psychopaths, and master manipulators. In day-to-day life, we meet many people who play with our feelings, guilt trip us, trigger our fears, and make us act according to their will. And the scariest thing is, we don't even realize that our decisions, our thoughts, and even our emotions are being slowly controlled. But as soon as we start analyzing dark psychology, we begin to understand how people are trying to manipulate our thoughts, perceptions, and emotions. The first step to understanding dark psychology is understanding the human mind. Our psychological patterns, our fears, desires, and insecurities make us vulnerable. When someone gives us approval, we become happy. When someone ignores us, we become restless. When someone triggers our fear, we get scared. And when someone gives validation, we are attracted to them. This is human psychology, and this is the foundation on which dark psychology works. Now think, when a manipulator makes you feel that you are wrong and they are right, is it just an argument? When someone says, "You wouldn't want to disappoint me, right?" Is it just an innocent request? When someone forces you to make decisions based on fear, is it just a suggestion? No. These are all powerful tactics of dark psychology. Some of the most dangerous tools are manipulation, deception, gaslighting, guilt tripping, emotional exploitation. Their goal is the same: to subtly control another person's emotions and thoughts. When someone guilt trips you and makes you feel that you are a bad person so that you agree with them, that's a classic example. When someone tries to change your perception and makes you believe your thinking is wrong, It's called gaslighting. And when someone uses deception to slowly bring you under their influence, that is also part of dark psychology. Now, another important point: persuasion versus manipulation. Many people think these two are the same, but there is a subtle difference. Persuasion is ethically making someone agree with you by giving them a balance of logic and emotion without any pressure, whereas manipulation is unethical. In it, the other person's feelings are twisted to control them according to one's will. The correct analysis of dark psychology helps us understand how people think, how they react, and in what kind of situations they are most vulnerable. This knowledge doesn't mean we use it to control others. Rather, it can become our mental defense system. When you find out that someone is playing with your emotions, you become aware and can save yourself from falling into that trap. Now think, do you know that you have also been a victim of some dark psychology technique at some point in your life? Did you ever feel that your decisions were not your own, but someone subtly forced you to make those decisions? Have you ever been in toxic relationships where you were subjected to gaslighting or guilt tripping? Analyzing dark psychology means making yourself mentally strong. This is not just the science of understanding manipulation. Rather, it is a mental armor, a shield that can protect you from those people who want to play with your feelings. When you learn to recognize these patterns, you can avoid falling into anyone's psychological games. You can make your decisions more consciously. Now, the choice is in your hands. Would you want to remain a puppet in someone else's hands? Or will you recognize the power of your mind and create a strong mental shield for yourself? The art of manipulation. Have you ever thought how some people get others to agree with them so easily? No force, no coercion, no strong arguments. Just with the style of talking and body language, they mold the other person's thinking and decisions according to their will. This is called manipulation, a psychological art that targets a person's emotions, fears, desires, and insecurities. A smart manipulator reaches your subconscious mind directly and creates such an atmosphere that you feel like you made the decision yourself, whereas the whole planning was already in their mind. For example, if someone says to you, "If you love me, you will do this work." Is this really about love? Or a cleverly planned mental trap? When someone makes you feel guilty that you didn't help them, even if you have solid reasons, is that just a request or emotional manipulation? When someone makes you believe that your thinking is wrong and theirs is right, is that just a debate or a psychological attack subtly executed on the mind? The roots of manipulation lie deep within our emotions. We are human. We need approval, respect, security, and validation. And when someone controls these feelings, then they can manipulate us according to their will. This process is so subtle that we don't even realize we have been influenced. We think we are making decisions ourselves, but the truth is that every step has been planned by someone beforehand. A clever manipulator knows what a person's biggest weakness island. Some need constant validation. Some can be controlled by fear. Some can be forced by guilt tripping. And some people get manipulated in situations where they have no other way out. You yourself must have felt all this in relationships, friendships, workplace politics, or your personal life. Has anyone ever made you do something you didn't want to do, but you still did it? Did someone make you agree by making you feel guilty? Or did you meet someone who twisted your words and proved you wrong? Manipulation has many forms. Gaslighting, where your thinking is repeatedly proven wrong. Silent treatment, where someone doesn't talk to you so that you are forced to agree with them. Guilt tripping, where you are deliberately made to feel bad so that you agree with the other person. Passive aggression and subtle mind games. These are all tactics of mental control. But an important question is manipulation always negative? To tell the truth, Not really. Sometimes manipulation can also become a self-defense tool. For example, when a toxic person is emotionally pressuring you or a narcissist is exploiting you, then subtle manipulation becomes the shield that can save you mentally. Therefore, the most important thing is to understand manipulation. Because until you recognize the tactics, you won't be able to protect yourself from them. You have to understand that every time someone's anger, a guilt-based argument, or an emotional drama is not necessarily genuine. Many times, these are just mind games, designed to control you. So next time someone tries to play with your feelings, pause, think, and then act wisely. The art of persuasion, the art of convincing. Have you ever thought why some people are so influential? They say anything and the other person just agrees. When they make a request, it seems almost impossible to refuse. Their presence has a certain power that compels people to agree with their words. This is not magic. This is persuasion, the art of convincing. Persuasion is an invisible force that gradually affects our minds. It is neither force nor manipulation, but a subtle influence where the other person doesn't even feel that they are being influenced. A skilled persuader is one who, without force, understands the other person's emotions, desires, and mindset, and gently shifts their thinking in their favor. Just think, when a salesperson sells you a product you had no intention of buying, was that just a good sale, or the power of persuasion? When a leader, with the magic of his words, gets thousands of people to agree with him, was that just a speech or a deep psychological strategy? When a friend or colleague convinces you to agree with them without pressure, was that just a casual conversation or the effect of persuasion? The greatest strength of persuasion lies in its subtlety. It does not force anyone, but gently influences their thinking, so that the other person makes the decision themselves and feels like they are choosing themselves. This is the reason why the world's most successful people, whether business leaders, politicians, sales experts, or motivational speakers, are all masters in the art of persuasion. Because humans are completely emotional beings, and they make most decisions based on emotion, not logic. A smart persuader knows that facts alone are not enough to influence people. They need an emotional connection. That's why great public speakers don't just quote statistics, they tell stories. Connect with emotions so that people not only understand the point, but also feel it. If you pay attention, persuasion is used the most in our daily life. When a child repeatedly convinces his parents to buy him an expensive toy, he is using persuasion even at that young age. A boss gets his employee to work overtime without saying anything. That's persuasion, not pressure. When a lover gently convinces their partner for a particular decision, that is also persuasion. But remember, there is a fine line between persuasion and manipulation. In manipulation, emotions are played with to create compulsion, whereas in persuasion, the other person is gently shown a new perspective. A good persuader never resorts to guilt-tripping or fear tactics. They understand the other person's needs and then present their point in such a way that it automatically starts to seem right. Persuasion is such a power that if used correctly, anyone's thinking can be shifted without applying force. Have you noticed that big brands in their ads don't just talk about product features, but target our emotions? An ad for perfume doesn't just show the fragrance. It makes you feel that by wearing it, you will look more confident and attractive. A car ad doesn't list engine details. It shows you dreams of luxury, adventure, and power. This is the real power of persuasion, to present something in such a way that people connect with it emotionally. Now the question arises, can persuasion be learned? And the answer is absolutely. It is not an inborn talent. It is a skill that anyone can learn. If you understand it, you can use persuasion as a powerful tool in both your personal and professional life. How to protect yourself from dark psychology. Have you ever felt that someone is slowly controlling you, but you just can't understand what's happening? Have you ever felt that someone is playing with your feelings, making you feel guilty, or manipulating you according to their will? If yes, then this chapter is for you. Dark psychology is not an ordinary matter. It is an invisible game that plays with our minds and emotions. And many times, we don't even realize that we have fallen into its trap. The most dangerous part of it is its subtlety. It is hidden in someone's words, their tone, body language, and sometimes just in their presence. Those who master this psychology start controlling you without your knowledge. But if you learn to recognize it and keep yourself safe, then no one can easily manipulate you. Now, let's talk about how to protect yourself from this mind game. Step 1. Self-awareness. Know yourself. Observe your feelings, thoughts, and reactions. If you know yourself well, no one can take advantage of your insecurities. Manipulative people always try to find out what your biggest worry is, what your biggest fear is, and what can make you emotionally weak. But if you accept your weaknesses, they become your strength. Step 2. Emotional boundaries. It is essential to set clear boundaries. Many people get manipulated simply because they don't know where to say no. Manipulators will want you to forget your boundaries and act according to their will. They will guilt trip you, make you feel obligated, and many times use your own emotions against you. But if you create boundaries and learn to say no, you can easily avoid mental manipulation. Step 3. Critical thinking and logical analysis. Master manipulators target your emotions because emotions influence humans the most. But if you start analyzing every situation logically, you will understand what is right and what is just an emotional trap. Just ask yourself every time, is this really right for me? Or is this just an attempt to push me? Just thinking this much can save you from many traps. Step 4. Assertiveness. Become assertive, meaning learn to say your point confidently but respectfully. When you state your opinions firmly, make decisions yourself, and don't succumb to others' pressure, no one can manipulate you. Manipulators are powerful only when the other person is weak. But when you are confident, you are in control. Step 5. Understand people around you. Always pay attention to who is around you. Often, the people who manipulate us are those close to us: friends, co-workers, relatives, or partners. If someone is repeatedly draining you emotionally, lowering your self-esteem, or guilt-tripping you, that is a red flag. Step 6. Build mental strength. Develop your self-worth, confidence, and self-respect. Manipulators target those who need approval, who are easily influenced. But if you understand your own value, no one will be able to control you by guilt-tripping. Step 7. Maintain distance. If you feel that someone is hurting your mental health, learn to distance yourself from them. This isn't always possible, but wherever you get a chance, stay away from toxic people. Sometimes, the best self-defense is to separate yourself from the source that is manipulating you. And the most important thing, drop the victim mindset. Many people think they are always being manipulated, but the truth is that dark psychology only affects those who cannot recognize it. When you learn to understand these tricks, you make yourself so mentally strong that no one can easily control you. Now think, have you also been a victim of someone's manipulation, but you didn't understand it at that time? Have you ever faced guilt trips, emotional blackmail, or gaslighting? And if yes, are you now ready to protect yourself? Not everyone understands dark psychology, but those who do can change their entire lives. Now it's up to you. Will you consider this just a psychological concept? Or will you make it your mental shield? One that will protect you from all kinds of emotional manipulation. So friends, if you liked this episode, please like it, Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to share it with your friends. And yes, if you are new to this channel, subscribe now.